So hello everyone, welcome back to class number 17, and in the previous class we discussed about sound effects, right? We discussed about the psychology behind how do we add, why do we add, and when do we add specific sound effects. We also discussed about what is to be added in different layers, and also we have discussed about one small thing which is very important, which was what are the levels of individual layers that you need to add. So in this video, in this lecture, in the class number 17, we are going to break down the sound effects of the launch video, right? So with that being said, let's get started. My name is Tharun. Video editing has changed my life, and it can change yours too. You know, Tharun speaks quality, quantity. So hello everyone, here we go. Here we have like the screen. The Premiere Pro kind interface, and I'll just play the video for you, right? And once you watch it, okay, let's actually see what are the sound effects that we have added in the intro. In the launch video of this video editing course, right? So all the layers have been mindfully added because you'll get to understand why, right? Neeraj has edited the launch video, so credits to him. But yeah, here we go. Let's watch the video and then let's try to break down what we have exactly added at what point of time. What sound effect is being added at what point of time, right? So at this point of time, first things first, what I want you to do is maybe take a pen and a paper, right? Watch this video along with me and try to, maybe note down or just note down in your brain itself, or like maybe a notepad or whatever it is. Just stop this whenever you want, just for the next 30 seconds. Stop, pause this video whenever you want and try to, kind of note down the sound effects that you have observed in this edit, right? Chalo, here we go. Let's get started. So here in the Premiere Pro screen, you'll be able to see, all the sound effects, all the layers over here, right? And here, at this point of time, wherever my cursor is, here you'll be able to see what is like the, waveform of a particular sound effects, right? And here you'll be able to see the actual edit, right? So let's get started. The blue color ones are mostly my audio layers, like the talking head shot, voiceovers, whatever you call it. And niche we have like, okay, we'll get to it. Just watch it first, right? So when you actually watch this video on YouTube, you wouldn't be actually able to see, oh, these many sound effects have been added to this edit, right? But this is the reality. Like deep inside, there's a lot. Right, so here we go. Let's start watching it first.
Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? I was just a normal kid, a normal student who was attending his daily classes just before 4 years. What has changed? Why do people see me with different eyes right now? Well, I'm not sure of what exactly happened, but if there's one thing that I've learned in my life till now, it is this. Do what your heart tells you to do. You're not born to follow the orders and become a slave that they want you to be. Learn what you want to learn, do what you want to do, just prove them wrong. Never forget this. Hey, hello everyone.
So you got it right. So here I have kind of increased the volume of individual sound effects because I wanted the entire class to be focused upon it, right? Now I'll just kind of break down each and every layer, right? So this is with the sound effects and all. Now let me show you. I'll just remove the music. I'll remove all the sound effects that we have. There's so many layers over here. So basically there are 18 layers or something, 18 or 19 layers of audio. I'm just muting it everything. And now watch the same video, right?
Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? I was just a normal kid, a normal student who was attending his daily classes just before 4 years. What has changed? Why do people see me with different eyes right now? Well, I'm not sure of what exactly happened, but if there's one thing that I've learned in my life till now, it is this. Do what your heart tells you to do. You're not bound to follow the orders and become a slave that they want you to be. Learn what you want to learn, do what you want to do, just prove them wrong. Never forget this.
So you got it right. Basically, the first thing that Neeraj has done the best is he took the audio, like the voiceover, and he has applied parametric equalizer, he has applied denoise. So basically he cleaned the audio and he put it out there so that you can hear the proper podcast type of audio, right? Uske baad, the next layer is,
can you remember?
The music layer, right? And the music layer, if you see, just clicking on it, not F, oh shit, G. So you see the peak amplitude of music layer is minus 8.8 decibels, minus 8.8. But if you see the peak amplitude of my audio when I'm talking, the voiceover, is minus 0.6. So basically, audio layer is at 0, right? And music layer is at minus 9-ish kind of stuff. Got it? So that's basically the difference between the background ka music and my audio levels. That's what I was trying to mention in the first class also. That whenever you're trying to add music, just make sure that the music doesn't eat up your audio, right? First things first, the story has to be evident for people. Correct? So make sure that the music level is not so high. There's at least like minus 10 ka difference or minus 8, 9 ka difference. Or maybe in some cases when the amplitude of music is a lot, minus 15 ka difference rakh lo, right? Between the talking head shot and the music that you're adding, right? Now going forward, let's kind of break down what are the other kind of music which has been added, right? So as I first told you, there'll be some primary sounds, correct? So here if you see, in the beginning, right? You see that camera flickering wala sound. So that's like a primary sound because that's actually very evident onto the screen and you want to show it, right? So that can be higher. I'm just clicking on it, right? I'm just clicking on it. Yeah, you see G. So it's also at minus 0.9, which means minus 1 kind of. So the primary sounds of the edit can be louder, but make sure that the primary sounds, the other sound effects, do not intersect with your audio, the main audio, the voiceover, right? So now going forward,
Can you remember who?
got it right. So first things first, the camera flickering wala sound or whatever sound, you can use like a film burn wala sound over there. You can use maybe a swoosh also in the beginning. Whatever you want, you can just add some kind of sound effects to highlight that there is this camera film burn wala effect going on. Correct? So next, moving forward, we have, I'm just done with like the music. There are two music layers. So this is the first music. I'm just removing the sound effects again.
Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? I was just a normal kid, a normal student who was attending his daily classes just before 4 years. What has changed? Why do people see me with different eyes right now? Well, I'm not sure of what exactly happened, but if there's one thing that I've learned in my life till now, it is this. Do what your heart tells you to do.
You got it right. So basically, there are two layers of music. As the first music layer slowly started to decrease, so there's this exponential fade applied, right? So you can just click on the music, right click on it, or maybe some other place, or maybe you can directly go to this FX panel, right? And you can search for exponential fade, and you can click on it and drag it over to the footage that you want, right? For example, if I'm applying on this thing, so I can just directly drag it and it will slowly have like a curve, right? It takes your peak amplitude and kind of decreases it to 0. That's what exponential fade does. Got it? So now, as the first music slowly started decreasing, right here, the second music slowly started picking up, right?
Do what your heart tells you to do. You're not bound to follow the orders and become.
So that is about the audio, like the voiceover, and then the music layer, right? Now let's go deeper into the environmental wala effects, right? Environmental wala sound effects, and some of the most evident primary sound effects, for example, the film that we discussed, and the sound effects for transitions, right? There's so much, man. I'll just watch it, right? I'll just try to break it down. It's going to be very simple, but also complex. So it's mostly about what you can visualize in a scene and what sound effects do you have to pick at that point of time. That's it. Got it? So now moving on. Yeah. So here we have this one, which is, to tell that, we have like a film and transition going on.
Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? I was just a normal kid, a normal.
See, here again, like at this point of time, this Tharun on the screen was near a beach, right? So what Neeraj has done over here is he added this thing, which is, water ocean, right? For example, ESA is, we downloaded the sounds from Epidemic Sounds, but basically this Tharun on the screen is near the ocean at this point of time. So here at this point of time, this water ka sound effects, the sea ka, ocean water ka sound effects, surfing ka sound effects is being added, right?
Kid, a normal student who was attending his daily classes just before.
Again here, at this point of time, here this Tharun is at a railway station kind of stuff. So again, train ka sound has been added, right?
What has changed?
Again here, here something like a grass and all. So basically the camera was moving inside the grass, like through the grass. So again, what sound has been used? A wind sound effects has been used over here. Just play it, right? For example, that sound effect has been used over there, right? So
Why do people see me with different eyes right now?
so again, here at this point of time, this Tharun was between crowd, right? Crowd. Oh, so I was on the stage, so in front of me there would be crowd, and here also there are crowd. So basically, crowd ka voice or maybe people shouting ka voice has been added here. Basically, crowd, teens cheering, right? See? Just play it here. That sound effect has been added over there, right? Again,
Well, I'm
moving
not sure
forward.
what exactly happened, but if there's one thing that I've learned in my life till now, it is this.
Over here also,
Learned in my life.
Tharun is walking, right? So at this point of time, what has been added is the footsteps. If you see here,
In my life till now.
right? So let me just play it. So this sound, the tuck wala sound, it has been matched with my foot landing onto the surface, right? Again, we have, yeah. So this is,
Do what your heart tells you to do. You're not bound to follow the orders and become a slave that they want you to be. Learn what you want to learn, do what you want to do.
again, the crowd wala noise.
Just prove them wrong.
Got it? So basically the first, audio has been, my audio, voiceover has been perfected and music has been added. A couple of musics has been added and we have added exponential fade on the first one and we also added exponential fade on the second one, right? So the end part of the first music, the beginning part of the second music, right? We had exponential fade. What does exponential fade do? It slowly decreases the music layer. How do you do that? Basically, you just go to FX wala panel, right? You search for exponential fade and you just drag it onto the end, right? You just drag it onto the end wherever you want to add it, right? And you can just click on here and you can increase the fade cut duration or you can decrease the fade cut duration, right? I'm just deleting it here. Got it? So now moving on, I'll show you more, right? So again here from the beginning. Now I'm just going on to the audio layer 6 and here we have one more sound which is,
Can you remember who you were?
you see, there's a drone moving, right? Drone moving away from Tharun, right? So what has been added is basically here, this sound. Just try to listen to this, right? What is that sound? Basically, at this point of time, I have been standing on a bridge which is beside water, right? So that sound has also been added over there. See, there are so many details, small details which are being added. And I guess when you're watching the intro video, I mean, when you're watching the, what do we say? The launch video, you would have not even like noticed all of these things, right? But when you go deeper, there are so many things which are being done inside. And this is the best part that I was talking about in the previous video. It's like, the best sound effects are the sound effects which are not even noticeable, right? So noticeable is like, it just seamlessly like integrates into the video that you're editing, right? So here we go.
Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be?
So here we have like a couple of traffic wala sounds, right? Yeah. So now as I just talked about, the voiceover part, the music part, and the environmental noises part, right? And primary sound effects wala part. Now let's go deeper into some of the, most obvious ones which we discussed in the previous one, which is like mostly swooshes and whooshes, right? So, and also the transition wala sounds, right? So going forward here again, let's come to the beginning. I'm just unlocking all the layers right now. So now instead of moving layer by layer, as you understood like what has been added in different layers, now let's go from frame to frame, right? So here if you watch, we have this film burn wala thing, right? And
Can you remember?
here we have this water ocean wala thing, right? When Tharun was here near the bridge, right? And beach mein in the back end we have one more noise which is going on, which is basically a riser, right? I was talking about this in the previous tutorial, right? Basically risers are the things which start from almost zero and they peak, right? They slowly build and they just vanish away at this point of time, right? So this riser, if you see, it has started here, it started peaking. It came to the max here and it just ended, right? And after the riser ends, you can actually transition the same thing to the next scene, right? That's what has been done here, right? So here we have like a traffic wala thing going on. This is the place where the riser is ending. Just see if we have like a transition over there or not. See, the riser ended and we have Tharun on the next scene. That's what I was talking about. Risers can be used to seamlessly transition from one scene to other scene, right? Because at the end of a riser, you can directly start one more clip, right? So, again, moving on.
Can you remember who you were before the world told you?
So here you have a transition, right? So this here, at this point of time, here's a drone clip which is moving away. The drone is moving away from the camera.
You were before the...
Again, one more scene where drone is again moving out of the camera. This is again a match cut, right? So you have a match cut, and to support the match cut, we have a sound effect, right? What is this sound effect? This sound effect is called zoom by or something, right? But you can use a swoosh or a whoosh over there, right? For example, just listen to this. It's almost, yeah. When has this been added? This has been added
You were before the world
here. Got it?
told you who you should be.
Here we have some of the traffic sounds, all of this sounds going on, and the riser has been building for a while and it will end,
I was just
right? It has ended here, but to just, pick up from the place where the riser has ended, we have one more sound, right? And this is a hit, right? There is also something called pairing different sound effects, right? A riser which increases, right, and ends suddenly can be paired with a hit, right? Because a hit has an impact wala sound. So basically you're raising the noise and you're ending it with a hit. That's what has been done over this point of time, right? So if you see it, watch it again carefully. I'll just mute the other layers for you. All the other layers has been done, removed, right? See, I'll just remove the other noise also, like the ambience wala noise also. See, a riser has been building for a while. Riser ended and you paired it with a hit, right? So that's one of the creative ways in which you can pair sounds, right? Risers with hits, risers with swooshes sometimes, risers with a creative sound effect sometimes. So all of these things, right?
I was just a normal kid, a normal student who was a...
At this point of time, when we had a match cut of Tharun just turning aside, right? You had a button switch ka noise, I guess. Yeah. What is this? Yeah, a switch click, right? You have a lot of these clicks. I'm just muting other things, 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 muting, take care. So here we have Tharun ka turning wala transition, right? That has been paired with a switch wala thing. See? Got it, right? So there are so many things that you can learn from this video. It's like whatever visuals are going on, pair it up with some audio layer, right? Some kind of sound effects. It's all about how well you can pair a couple of sound effects, how creatively can you choose the sound effects, and also how many sound effects layers can you add without being noticed by people, right? Which means you should properly replicate whatever happened in that proper scene, whatever the scene it is. If Tharun is in like between ocean, you should have surfing ka noises. You should be having boat ka noise. You should be like if some people are swimming beside, you should be having swimming ka noise. But you shouldn't make it very evident. Imagine you're actually inside that boat. You're actually inside the ocean. You're just beside Tharun inside the scene. At that point of time, what would you hear? Just try to imagine. And what would be the audio layer of like audio levels of things that you're hearing? Right? Just try to imagine all of those things, close your eyes, and then start editing the video, right? At that point of time, you'll get the proper feel of it, right? So again, moving forward.
in his daily classes just before.
So here you have one more riser, right? If you see here,
Student who was attending his daily classes.
a riser.
Student who was attending his daily classes.
So the match cut is ending and the end of the match cut is being kind of highlighted by the use of a riser over there, right? So again, moving forward, here we have train ka noise,
Daily classes.
And here we have trying one more noise. They have been coupled one upon the other, layered again, right? And then you have a whoosh over here, I guess, basically a flyby, whoosh, whatever you call it. That's to show a transition between a scene over here, right? So if you see this part, you have one more transition over there. Just look at it.
Classes just before 4 years.
See, you have the surfing wala noise.
What has changed? Why do people see me with different eyes right now?
Here you see, there has been 3 clips playing, right? I'm just removing this, this, right? So I'll also remove this. No, not this. I'll remove this, right? So at this point of time, you'll be able to see. So basically, there are 3 videos which are playing after one after other, right? And the transition between these things, there's no visual transition, but there's a transition in terms of sound, right? Just try to watch it. Right? So each of these things, each of the layers has been very well thought, right? Again, moving forward.
Well, I'm not sure of what exactly happened, but if there's one thing that I've learned in my life till now.
Yeah, here again I've shown you this thing, right? Footsteps ka. I'll just make it evident again. So you see? Right? So that has also been added over here. And moving forward, I'll just remove all of this again.
Yeah. Do what your heart tells you to do. You're not born to follow the...
Again, here at this point of time, just listen to the audio. This. You see, there's a whoosh being added between the sounds. Like basically, scene 1 transitioning into scene 2, there's a whoosh over there, and immediately one more scene transition supported by a whoosh, a bigger whoosh because the camera is moving forward like ooper, right? Last whoosh basically to show that the camera has halted, right? And then we have one more whoosh, right? Just try to watch it. You got it? So there are so many of these small things that you can talk about. Small things, small sound effects that you can add. And these, when you actually play it like all together, are not even noticeable, right? Just try to watch it again, right? Now I've shown you the footsteps wala thing. I've shown you this whooshes with different scenes changing, right? All of these things just get invincible, right? When you actually watch it like a entire video, right? Just try to watch it.
Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? I was just a normal kid, a normal student who was attending his daily classes just before 4 years. What has changed? Why do people see me with different eyes right now? Well, I'm not sure of what exactly happened, but if there's one thing that I've learned in my life till now, it is this. Do what your heart tells you to do. You're not born to follow the orders and become a slave that they want you to. Learn what you want to learn, do what you want to do, just prove them wrong.
Right? So now let me try to increase the volume by maybe 4 decibels, right? Just try to watch it.
Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? I was just a normal kid, a normal student who was attending his daily classes just before 4 years. What has changed? Why do people see me with different eyes right now? Well, I'm not sure of what exactly happened, but if there's one thing that I've learned in my life till now, it is this. Do what your heart tells you to do. You're not born to follow the orders and become a slave that they want you to. Learn what you want to learn, do what you want to do, just prove them wrong. Never forget this.
See, finally, at this point of time, when this transition was happening, just look at the riser, right?
Yes. Hey, hello everyone, welcome back.
That's when you have to do the transition, like increase it, like just let it cook for some time.
Never forget this. Hey, hello everyone, welcome back.
So basically, don't do sound effects, like don't add in sound effects, just to show your audience that you're adding sound effects, right? The sound effects should be invincible, right? So just click on the sound effects, right? Whenever you feel that maybe this is like very loud, right? Just click on it, click on G, and try to like maybe decrease it like by -5, -6. Just listen to it again. Feel acha, okay, this is good, right? When you feel certain sound effect level is good, at that point of time, it's like, okay, fine, right? So basically, you need to watch your own edit once more, once you have done the sound design, and you need to analyze if this is right level of the sound effect or not. This is the proper audio level of the sound effect or not, right? If you can do that well, that's it, man. Like, you'll be actually a pro, right? So just try out with all the sound effects that we have sent you, right? And there are so many other type of sound effects. For example, there are some sound effects called drones. Not a proper drone, but yeah, there are sound effects called, some satellite ka sound effects. There is some slow motion ka sound effects. There is some time lapse ka sound effects. So a lot of these sound effects are there. The world is your playground. You should just start experimenting, right? I guess like at least get started, right? And with time, you'll actually build upon yourself, right? And as I told in the previous class, you should already start creating your own sound effects pack at this point of time, if you have been watching till now, right? So I guess that is it. We should actually have like a competition for like sound design in the course, man. Like, chalo, with that being said, I'll see you again in the next class with one more important topic, which is about aspect ratios, right? I'll see you. Chalo, bye-bye.